Good evening, everyone. This is a meeting of the Southfield Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered as a community meeting. There is one opportunity for public participation during the meeting, and comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual. The board will listen to comments but may not respond during the meeting. If you wish to address the board, please submit a comment card immediately. Roll call, Ashanti Bland, Board President.
Good evening, Yvette Ware Duvall, Vice President.
Good evening, Leslie Lovesmith, Thomas, Board Secretary.
Good evening, Talisha Belk, Board Treasurer.
Good evening, Amani Johnson, Trustee.
Good evening, Juliet Holloway, Trustee.
Nicole Denson, Trustee.
Sorry about that. Chidi Naji, Student Board Representative.
Good evening, Paris Whitman, Southfield A&T Student Board Representative.
Good evening, Jennifer Green, Superintendent. Taking minutes this evening is Ms. Carolyn Foster. Technical support is being provided by M1 Studios.
May we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to start by asking our trustees if they have anything for board matters. Hearing none.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Through the chair.
Sure.
I do have a couple of board matters that I wanted to share. A couple weeks ago, we went as delegates for MASB from Southfield to work on the bylaws and the policies that MASB has for Michigan schools. And while I was there, I was in attendance with Trustee Denson as well as Trustee Holloway. Just want to go over just a couple of things that we went to different sessions and were able to hear some different best practices. One that I went to, which was, I think, vital, Michigan Virtual. And from what I understand, I'm not sure if our curriculum team is here this evening, but there's a gentleman by the name of Aaron that's working with Southfield Public Schools on what is AI, artificial intelligence, and how it's going to play a part in our education systems and bringing up our teachers as well as bridging the generation gaps between AI and our students. Transformation is important, and it was a wonderful segment, and there's some things that I'll be chatting with her about as well as our board to make sure that we are forerunners and front runners with AI.
Through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
So first, happy Veterans Day, everyone. Thank you for anyone who served our country. It has almost been a year for me, and it's a pleasure to serve this district and to be a delegate. It was a pleasure also to be able to vote with our Vice President on ways to keep inclusive literature in our school system that reflects all races, ethnicities, religions, and abilities, genders, and expressions. Also, to be able to vote on the need to have assessment and competency testing, curriculum and standards. So it was really a privilege to be there for the first time. I attended CBA 2255, which was Cultural Competent Leaders. It was wonderful to network and get guidance from other school board members across the state. And the course was on the school board members with strategies to connect cultural competence to the mission of schools to provide high-quality education for all students in order to close the achievement gaps and to have tactical multicultural issues. And this to help to ensure equity, access to opportunities, recognition of disadvantages, barriers, and to help with ensuring equity. It was also great to connect with other vendors. I was able to talk to a Dr. Woodard, who runs a firm called Lead, Grow, and Empower to help with reading and testing scores. Also to connect with transportation services as well as food services. So it was great to have conversations and connect with other people across the state.
Through the chair. I also attended the conference. The class I had, one of the classes that I had was curriculum and instruction. What I was really interested in, better understanding the board's role in curriculum. There were a series of questions that should have been asked or could be asked by the board, which is, does this align with goals and objectives of the district? Does this align to the district's strategic plan? Is this culturally relevant and responsive? What do we want students to know? Are all of our students learning? Those are some questions, very vital questions to know. The board should also be able to allocate funds and amend the district budget as necessary to implement the adopted curriculum and instructional materials. Should ensure the curriculum and instructional materials are implemented by requiring accountability. Review the data that evaluates the effectiveness of approved curriculum, materials, and instructional methodologies. All this is quite interesting, and I learned quite a bit in this class. It's the curricular instruction class. Thank you.
Thank you, trustees. Thank you for going and representing our district, and thank you for bringing back your full reports regarding ALC. We appreciate it. So I will take this time. As many of you know, this is my last regular board meeting. I will be moving on to Southfield City Council effective November 17th. With that being said, we do have a transition timeline. Many of you have asked, and so I'm going to share that at this moment. So what will happen is I will effectively resign as of Monday, November 17th.
Let's go back.
I know, let's go backward to go forward. At that time, I have asked that our trustees meet on Thursday, correct? Thursday, November 13th, for a committee of the whole meeting where we will plan this transition. We are governed by our bylaws. Our bylaw 1071.2 states that our vice president will assume an interim presidency unless the board, as a larger quorum, decides that they want to elect another person to fill in as president until our organizational meeting in January. Based on what happens at that time, we will also elect a new vice president. That person will run their term until January at our organizational meeting. What that also means is that we will have a seat available for appointment. Effective, I believe Thursday. Are we advertising in the Southfield Sun? Are we gonna?
November
November 17th.
which is
We will
Monday.
run an ad in the Southfield Sun that explains what a community member would need to do in order to be considered for an appointment to this board. What that means is you will be appointed until 2026, when my term was originally going to expire. At that time, we would hope that whoever asked to be appointed would run for the seat to keep the cohesiveness. It's a job. It is a job. Let me be very clear. It is servant leadership. It is public service. At the root of it, it means that you give your all to your community. The seat is great. The conferences are good. The network is wonderful. But at the root, if you're going to do this job, it's commitment and dedication and a love for this city and Lather Village. And that's the bottom line. It's working with others. It's being organized. It's learning a lot of policies and bylaws. And at a lot of times, it's self-regulation, because many of us are parents and we want to intercede as such. But our job is to be fiscally responsible and ensure the safety of this district. We have one employee to my left, the superintendent. The superintendent is the only person that the district hires. She is our only employee. We consider her the 8th member of the board. So that also is our responsibility to evaluate the superintendent. So I just wanted to make sure that that was clear for those who are considering. We are looking at having our interviews, once we get those applications in, either December 1st or 8th. And for whoever does end up taking that seat, please be aware that you would actually get sworn in December 9th. So please have the bandwidth in your schedule to have all of that done if you are interested. Yes, ma'am.
If I may add, based on the most recent feedback from the Southfield Sun, they will run the ad as a banner on their website due to the timing of their publication. So it will not go in the publication for this Thursday. It will be a banner on their website, our website, as well as our social media platforms.
Got it. The applications are due November 20th. That is a Tuesday. They must come via our portal by 5 p.m. Again, November 20th, 5 p.m. It doesn't matter who you know. Don't call us. Can you stretch it to 6 o'clock? It is a process because it's a process and it works. After that, 2026, there'll be an organizational meeting at 6 p.m. on January 6th, and at that time, this board will elect their new officers. And then Saturday, January 10th, we'll have a board retreat, and then the 13th, we're back to work as usual of January at 7 p.m. So I just wanted to make sure that I filled the community
Deadline is
in
the
on that.
25th.
Oh, deadline is the 25th. Not the 20th. So anyone writing that down, the deadline is the 25th of November. I'm going to take the time to just say thank you to this district. Not only have you embraced me as a board member, but as a child of Southfield. It has been my pleasure to be raised in this city my whole life. Coming through Shanos, Thompson, Southfield, Lathrop, it has literally molded me. I would be remiss if I were not to say that my 7th grade teacher, Lori Liss, is the first person that contacted me on Facebook in 2010 and told me to run for the board. To the educators that are watching, it's you that makes the difference. I never had imagined that she saw that in me. She did, and she's still teaching in this district, by the way, which speaks to the longevity of our educators. To this staff, thank you so much. You have put up with me coming through the door with candy and my purse and my keys and all of the things, but most of all to this board. When I got on this board in 2020, it was not the same space that it is now. We have managed to make this cohesive. We have a consensus. You all are hardworking. You answer the call, you answer the phone, you go to the conferences. We celebrate each other's birthdays. We eat the food upstairs. And so I just want to say thank you, seriously, to the trustees that helped me out with this campaign. Denson, Johnson, you gave up your time. Y'all could get paid a lot of money to do what you did for me, and I appreciate you. Belt, Thomas, Ware Duvall, First People, put that sign in my yard. What we doing? So I just want to say thank you so much. It's been my pleasure to serve. And in being in service, I recognize that we had 3 students at the polls from sunup to sundown. And I started hearing people say, who is this young man out here? I said, what young man? And I looked back, and I see Brandon. And I walked over, I said, young man, what are you doing out here? And he said, supporting Sylvia Jordan, ma'am. Ma'am? What school you go to? University K-12. I said, I know that's right. I said, that's the type of people that we produce. And then here come 2 more, Dominic and Ariel. And they talked to me about their experience, what they liked, why they were out there. And to Miss Jordan, good look, right? You put our students out there with you as the face of your campaign, and I think it's very important. They were a great representation. They had on your T-shirt. And I was like, well, shoot, if she got our students, she got to be about something or other. So thank you for being here. I approached you all in the parking lot and said, hey, I would like to recognize you because while we don't teach civics anymore, which we should, to the parents that allowed their children to be out there for 12 hours doing their civic duty, thank you. Some of these children have no idea what it means to vote, who they're voting for, the difference between the executive, judicial, and legislative branches. It was clear to me that your children were dedicated, they were articulate, they were kind, they were well-groomed. I didn't hear cuss words. I walked up to them and said, 6, 7, and Ariel was like, oh, God. I'm sorry, baby, I know I needed to stop. But I wanted to recognize those 3 young people that go to University K-12. If you would please stand. You want to take the podium?
Yes, and let me say a few words, and you guys can come up here.
Yeah, we're going to get a photo of these young people. I see that their administration is here. If you would like to get in the photo as well, Dean Slate, Dean Bolden, thank you for being here.
To this honorable board, let me tell you, these guys did not only work election day, but they worked throughout the entire campaign. They sacrificed, they were out knocking on doors, they were out supporting the campaign, and I'm just so proud of them.
You should
that
be.
they took their civic duty seriously.
They did.
It wasn't just staying on the side. So I just want to commend them, and for their dad, Mr. Rock, that brought them to the meetings, brought them out knocking on doors and wearing the T-shirts, and we had a ball. And not only that, we had a chance to talk, because I was inspired by my 7th grade teacher to get involved in politics. So I'm telling you, teachers change the world.
They do.
But these guys deserve to be commended, and I'm just so proud of them.
Thank you so much. Dad, do you want to get in the picture for us? I think it's important because it does take a village, and this is what a village looks like. I've been proud of this district, but at that moment, to have all those people seeing our children standing outside doing their civic duty and being engaged, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much.
Through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to take some time to thank you. It is such a bittersweet, as for me to deliver a message from the board and how grateful we are to be under your leadership. We are thankful to you and your family. We know there are countless hours that Autumn has missed. And I know that there are times that you are burning rubber and having people to step into your shoe to care for your daughter and your son. We are grateful in every way that I can express to you for your direction. We look forward to all the great things that you do, Ashanti Bland. And with that said, before I have a moment.
Wow, is Tanya Hickman here? You gonna read the card? She's the only person that cries. So as we discussed, this marks a new partnership in Southfield. We will now collaborate. Where there were no bridges, we have built one. The district is the kitchen of the city. It's where everybody comes, it's where everybody meets, it's where it all starts. It's where it started for me. So I look forward to bridging that gap. I look forward to working with the new council members, and I look forward to this new journey with the Board of Education. So thank you all. I'm so grateful. Thank you. So we went from these 3 kids' civic duty to these 2 young people over here, our seniors, our student board members. We will start with Paris Whitman, of Southfield High School for the Arts and Technology. Good evening, Paris.
Good evening. My name is Paris, as she said, and I'm the 2026 Student Board Representative of Southfield A&T. I would like to first give congratulations to Ashanti Bland, the President of the Southfield Public Schools Board of Education, for being elected to the Southfield City Council. I would also like to mention that today is Veterans Day. Today we honor those who've served in the military and showed their bravery. Furthermore, Southfield Public Schools is offering food boxes this month. Come between 4 and 6 p.m. to receive one at the JWE building, this building, tomorrow, November 12th. For November, here are the past and current highlights for Southfield High School for the Arts and Technology. I will first begin with a report of the sports at Southfield A&T. All fall sports have officially ended, wrapping up an exciting season to the year. The varsity team won their homecoming game, which also happened to be senior night, on October 17th against Pontiac, while JV also secured a win against Pontiac the same week. All levels of football worked enthusiastically to end their season well. The cheer team delivered an energetic halftime show during homecoming game and also performed at the pep rally. Alumni cheerleaders were invited to join, which created a powerful moment of school spirit that connected generations of warriors. The Dance Academy performed a dynamic routine during the homecoming pep rally and showcased their talent and added to the excitement of the event. The marching band gave an outstanding final field show during the homecoming game and invited future warriors from Levy Middle School. This was a powerful display of unity between the present and future of Southfield A&T. Winter sports tryouts have begun for both boys and girls basketball, as well as bowling and wrestling. Now I'll begin with the leadership and activities highlights. On October 30th, student council members participated in Stevenson's Elementary School's Trunk or Treat for their second year in a row. Members decorated their trunks, dressed up, and passed out candy. This participation has created an annual tradition while showing strong leadership and community spirit. Student Council has also played a major role in making this year's homecoming pep rally one of the best. They closely collaborated with University High's Student Council, aligning several Spirit Week themes and introducing a spirit stick to highlight unity between schools. Seniors from each fall sport were recognized during the pep rally, and the class competitions brought high energy, with the sophomores taking the victory. The class of 2028 from both University and A&T took a joint class photo to celebrate their win. Student Council hosted their second blood drive of the year on November 7th, led by advisor Mr. Andrew Green and Community Service Chair Tiara Jones. The event was a success and it reflected the Council's outgoing commitment to community service. Dance Academy's advanced dance program participated in Thompson International's Academy's Halloween celebration and spent the entire day engaging with elementary students. Around 35 dance company students passed out candy, ran game centers with bingo and word searches, and led cookie decorating and arts and craft stations, while dressed up and representing Southfield A&T with leadership and creativity. Business Professionals of America's Executive Board attended the Fall Leadership Conference with all Michigan regions. They learned valuable strategies for leading their chapter with equity and inclusivity. For the month of November, the National Honor Society is running a Minutes for Kiddies donation drive to collect children's winter gloves. The seminar class with the most donations will earn a pizza or popcorn party as a reward for their generosity. The senior class board had their first general meeting of the school year on November 7th, which was open to any senior interested in being more involved in the planning and production of their senior class. Let me now tell you about the academic highlights. The first card marking officially ended on October 28th, and grades became viewable in MyStar on November 5th. The NAF healthcare program went to Corwell Hospital on November 7th to learn about CPR and the life of a physician. If there's one word that sums up this month, it's definitely unity. From the Spirit Weeks to the school partnerships to celebrating leaders who make a difference, Southfield continues to shine together. See you next month. Bye.
Thank you, Paris. Trustees, any questions for Paris Whitman this evening? Hearing none. And we will go to our University K-12 Academy representative, Chidi Nyanji.
Hello. Wow. Okay, sorry. Hello, everyone. My name is Chidi Naji, and as Miss Ashanti Bland has most beautifully put it, civic duty is a very important thing. So I would like to give a second round of applause for Miss Paris over here. I know you have all been stretched from the rush of early decision deadlines for your kids. I know it must have been extremely tiring and a headache. At least it was for me. You can hear my voice at least. So I want to talk about something more lighthearted than the college application process, the charge's dark side. As you all know, last month we celebrated our annual Fall Bash. Thank you to all of the parents for coming to the Fall Bash last week, where we had over 670 stakeholders in attendance. All family and parents enjoyed the event and provided positive feedback to Dr. Howard. I know due to our hard work, we gave every single participant tons of joy, and other candies too, but our love of food doesn't stop there. We handed out hay and a nice feeling of pizza. The kids were gifted the experience of petting different animals. I think they had a fantastic experience. Sorry for that pun. That was the best I come up with. The kids also had the ability to wear their own saffron, a warrior's horse's helmet. For any event, I believe it's important to keep a memento of it. My school does too. That is why there was a photo booth set up for them. At the U, one of the core values is unity. It's also the core value of Southfield Public School. We always believe that every single student is a part of the hood. Our middle schoolers know this because every day they have the opportunity to read to the first graders in Mr. Molina's class. They truly value the education of our young. But the middle schoolers aren't the only ones that value it. Our parents do. You truly showed it during senior opinion. I know some of y'all cried at the thought of your children's growing up. We at the U don't just care about people. We at the U don't just care about you. We have a deep love for our environment. Mrs. Malona's class and Miss Grady's class put their pumpkins in the garden. When they were finished with them, after watching the pumpkins grow this fall, they finally picked them just in time for the harvest. While university may be a prep school, what you will quickly learn about us is that we love nothing more than showing grades on and off the court. Our 7th and 8th grade girls basketball team had another undefeated championship win Saturday against the Levi Jaguars. Thank you for the round of applause for them. The final score was 37-17. Our 5th and 6th grade team did not win, but had a very formidable season. Yet we didn't stop there. The seniors fought against the juniors in a powder game. To be expected, the seniors didn't let a single touchdown get through. I have never been prouder. Yeah, thank you. Our 5th graders are learning how to combine math with creativity by creating monsters on grade paper with different areas and parameters. To them, any monster, math or otherwise, can be tamed. Dr. Wilson is already teaching our class the beauty of winning. Our 8th grade class was chosen as a winner of the Michigan Federal and Government Credit Union grant. What a mouthful. To fund their project, the 8th grade STEM class will be designing and creating a skill model of the current campus as a physical, tangible keepsake of the original Southfield Lathrop High School campus to be placed in the lobby of the new University K-12 Academy campus upon its completion. There are many reasons why people love to win. In my view, the most important one is the sense of accomplishment. We at the U believe people should be praised for their accomplishments. We did this when we threw a luncheon for everyone in the school who went out of their way to not just take an AP class, but pass one. In other words, we threw a luncheon for 20% of our high school. As you all know, we are continuing to teach the highest scholars in the classroom, meaning each grade will teach one grade up. We are focusing on all academic values of our levels of our scholars and celebrate all students. That includes people like Asha. In a school that is consistently a grade ahead, he never falls behind and is consistently leading his class in his vast knowledge of different topics. Then we have Johnny, one of the kindest people we have at the U. He consistently goes out of the way to have a positive attitude. We already heard about inclusivity from my desk neighbor, Ms. Denson. One of our students, Aminata, is an 11th grader who already understands the importance of it. She consistently tries to bring a smile to everyone from the motherland as the president of the African Students Association. We as Chargers believe charging right into the future, but as you know, charging into teens is dangerous without a plan. Our current plans start with the Thanksgiving break from November 26 to 28. The first half of senior dues are due in December, so make sure to pay them. We at the U believe that once a charger, always a charger. As a result, we'd love to celebrate one of our former chargers for being elected onto the 6th Grade Council. You've heard her name twice before, so you should already know it now. Ms. Ashati Blatt, please give her a strong third round of applause. I think both Dean Bowden and Dean Slate would agree that all of us will miss you and the work you have done on the board. I can't think of a single person that can fill your shoes. So whoever is there, you have big ones. Thank you for listening to me.
That was great. Thank you so much. I must say there are two Chargers sitting up here, myself and Amani Johnson. And so thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Chidi this evening? Hearing none. To Paris and Chidi, if you have any homework or assignments that you need to get completed, feel free to leave. If not, you are more than welcome to stay. Thank you both. Yeah, that was great. I don't see James Jackson. Is James Jackson still here?
Yes, I was just texting him.
Oh, do we have a PA system?
I have a cell phone with the direct.
James V. Jackson? Since he disappeared, I did want to take the time to just recognize the fact that Mr. Jackson is a veteran. And I think it's very important that we recognize people who have been in service to our country. So thank you for your service, Mr. Jackson. We recognize you and we thank you. See, that's why you should wear a bow tie. You never know what's gonna happen. Dr. Green has the report of the superintendent, starting with our employee of the month.
Absolutely, and it is a great privilege this evening to welcome Miss Bresson Fast. She has a new last name and it's French. I took Spanish, not French. I hope that I did it justice. Is she not in the audience tonight? Oh, she is absolutely amazing. She is a social worker in our district. She did work for us at McIntyre. She's now at Bernie K-8, and when I say our inbox was full of nominations for this young lady to be the employee of the month, it is truly a pleasure to recognize her. So if you would, please play the video so that we can publicly acknowledge her service.
Hello, how are you? How are you? Good, congratulations. I understand it's now Miss Bresson Thoughts?
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, Bresson Fast.
Fast.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Well, congratulations on your nuptials.
Thank you.
Also, congratulations on being the employee of the month.
Bernie's announcements went off during the presentation. We could not have planned that.
These are all for you.
Yeah, it does work.
When we looked at all of the nominees, you were an easy selection for the district, so thank you for all.
Thank you. This is so cool.
All right.
Thank you, Miss.
Hello, I am Kim Pritchett, the Vice Principal here at Bernie K-8. And I want to say that it was such a pleasure to recognize Mrs. Bresson Fast as the Southfield Public School Employee of the Month. She is an amazing employee. When I tell you, thinking about people that go above and beyond their daily responsibilities, she is the one that will do whatever it takes to make sure that our kids are being serviced. I can give you a list, and I'll start with seeing kids that who are not on her caseload, but may need some type of counseling or just someone to talk to. Mrs. Bresson Fast is the person that's Johnny on the spot. We had some issues during dismissal duty. She came in without even asking, like, hey, can I help? She called names for the car line. She has stood outside with her umbrella on a rainy day, making sure that our kids get into the car safely. I have a whiteboard here in my office. People come inside of my office just to read the joke of the day, and the jokes are from Mrs. Bresson Fast. So she is definitely the love and light here at Bernie K-8.
Give her another round of applause, and we will make sure that she receives her plaque and her token of our appreciation. The next individual
is one that you all see on a regular basis, and she is a quiet storm throughout the district. That is Miss Amy Rich, who is our Partner of the Month, IT Support with Oakland Schools. Miss Amy, is that you hiding in the back? Come on up and be recognized. Ron even had to come in for this one. Howard
We love
of
it.
Tech.
The kids designed it.
That's awesome. I love it.
You get to say a few words, you know, how much I appreciate it. Say a few words and take a photo with the board.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say on behalf of our whole tech team, I am one of many on our tech team. There's some days where we work really long hours, and some people are like, gosh, you're still working. We're like, well, if you're working, we're working. We come in the next day, we get re-energized by the faculty, the staff, and the students. The energy they bring to the classroom every day, not just the first day of school, but every single day, makes Southfield an incredible school district. I've been in education for 35 years in a lot of different roles. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Southfield is the perfect balance of a community, district, staff, faculty, and family. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it, and thank you for allowing our company.
And speaking of family, I think you have someone in the audience with you this evening. Your son. Amy, step to the front if you wouldn't mind and get a photo with the board, please. I know all of these people. How are you?
I'm doing well.
You keeping everyone together?
She does.
Well, you do as well. You have a counterbalance here.
I just eat Wendy's.
You just eat Wendy's? Okay, well,
More than that.
I'm here to celebrate you and your Wendy's. You know how fond I am of you, but everyone in this district thinks the world of you. So you were nominated by Gwen Denham on behalf of all of us as our partner of the month.
Thank you.
I can't thank
appreciate
you
it.
enough. These are yours.
I-
Not mine.
I think I speak for the rest of the team. This district is a phenomenal district, and thank you for allowing us to be part of your community.
Oh, well, you are
And it is absolutely remarkable.
You
So,
are remarkable. And
I
the fact that you're
appreciate it.
attributing your success to the team
It's-
speaks to who you are as a person, because it does take the village, and we're happy to have you as part of our village.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gwendolyn Denham, and I nominated Amy Rich. She's from our IT department, and she has been my go-to gal since day one. They've been rocking and rolling with the different schools moving and having to pull out wiring and set up IT for all the different schools in the district. But whenever I call her, she is here. We had so much fun at the beginning of this year coming up with a musical theme, just going through the hallways for the students to kind of geek them up, and we had a blast. So again, Amy, you deserve it.
Congratulations to all those being recognized this evening, well deserved. Next, I will move directly into the legislative update, and while there's not a lot that's happening this time of year, there is still something that is pressing on the minds of all educators, that is the 31AA language. We have been meeting with our legal counsel, with our insurance providers, and we still don't have clarity on a lot of the information surrounding the acceptance of the 31AA dollars. If we accept those dollars, and we have until November 30th to accept, we will be waiving some privilege that we have as Under governmental immunity, there are some questions regarding definitions and the statute's definition of mass casualty. There's some insurance exposure, there's the timing of it, and our legal counsel and many other legal counsels, as you know, BP, I was with them this morning, are cautioning us to weigh the acceptance of the funds against the legal and insurance risk. So we will have a decision closer to the end of the month as we continue to receive different opinions from legal counsel relative to this money. It will be approximately $575,000 that we choose not to accept or to accept moving forward, but we need to seriously consider the implications of accepting those dollars moving forward, so I wanted to keep that at the forefront.
When do we, what's the deadline to accept or decline?
November 30th.
November 30th.
And the monies would be received December 30th. I have made some alternative plans. The programs that we currently pay for out of 31AA, we have found some alternative grant dollars in the event that we make a decision not to move forward in that direction.
My only ask would be that if we could, a decision be made before Thanksgiving and the board be made aware, just in case anyone has questions or has any additional lifts, or if anything else comes up. You see what I'm saying?
I
It gives
understand
us
what you're
some
saying.
time,
So
yeah.
what I think may be a happy medium between the two is before Thanksgiving, I via email alert the board as to where we stand based on legal opinions to
Agreed.
date.
Yes.
And then also recognize that we still have 7 days beyond that time in the event that we have to pivot to something different based on legal opinion.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, because,
Well, because the window is November 30th, so if I tell you by November 23rd, which is before Thanksgiving, then
Okay.
we'll still have
Got
a
it.
few days left in the month of November, in case at the 11th hour, as we've seen with other decisions, we get updated information. So,
thank you.
absolutely. Next on the agenda is the staffing update. Ms. Foster, if you would, please. I will go through this quickly. I am pleased to share that we have a lot of individuals having accepted positions, and they will be starting in the various roles relatively soon. So if you would move forward, I believe the first one is Adler Elementary. It should be. There we go. The ASD position is still being filled by an ISSN team member. The staff pathologist is being filled by a partner. The resource room teacher will become effective, or did become effective on Friday, as we received a resignation. So that will be filled by a substitute teacher while that position is currently posted. McIntyre still has a .5 gym teaching position and the .5 art to ensure that our scholars have the elective courses while that program is being transitioned to Bernie. Stevenson still has the secretary position. We do have a sub filling that position for the time being. Bernie has the ASD position. Again, that has been filled by the same long-term person, and that person is seeking an alternative pathway to credentialing. The EI teacher and the second grade teacher candidate will start on the 24th. Thompson has the 2 ASD positions filled by substitutes. The science teacher, we are still struggling with that. We strongly encourage anyone that knows someone with a science certification to please apply for the position. And as of the last several weeks, the Spanish is being done online with the MEGS platform, which is supported by our IB as well. Levy, the ASD position, that teacher has accepted and will start on the 17th. We have the ASD position at Southfield High School for the Arts and Technology. The secondary transition coordinator will start on the 17th. And the bookkeeper, we have a candidate identified. I do not have a start date for that individual. At the university, Spanish position being filled by a substitute teacher. The vocal music teacher, the candidate start date is the 17th. The second grade teacher, the candidate start date is the 24th. KLC, 1 SXI teacher filled by subs, and 1 social worker being filled by one of our partner organizations. Bussy, 2 speech pathologists, both being filled by our partner organizations. 2 ECSC, early childhood special education, being filled by a retiree, which is a sub but is a retired educator. 1 EIB teacher, which is early intervention. District-wide positions, we have a candidate identified as Executive Director of Talent Management. Woo! That has been a very long haul and a heavy lift. So we are waiting to get that person's start date. And we have one ISSN Medicaid billing supervisor that recently became available, and we do have that position posted as well. Trustees, I did send you the job posting in an effort that we can all collectively recruit for that position. That is all that I have regarding staffing this evening.
Wonderful. That was great.
Thank you. Next, we will transition to Mr. James Jackson, who will provide us with an update regarding the metal detectors. I did.
Good evening. So as Dr. Green pointed out, I just wanted to provide a brief update on where we are with metal detectors, with our rollout plan. As the board is well aware and the community is aware, the district made a decision to move forward with purchasing and then implementing metal detectors in the district. We are beginning with Southfield A&T, and we are planning to roll that out on January 5th when we come back from break. As we lead up to that, we have begun to have meetings with the staff. We've actually brought the metal detector to a staff meeting so that the staff members could see it, understand how it works, and see it in action. We are also meeting with parents this coming week to, again, talk to them about the processes and procedures and bringing a physical metal detector to their meeting so that they can also see it and see how it works and understand the process. Following that meeting, I have begun to talk with building leadership about having grade level meetings with the students before we go to break, so that they can also understand what the process will be, what the device does, how it works, so that it won't be it won't be a big shock in January. So we are moving through this process to make sure that everyone is aware and understands what's happening. Some of the things that, and in the conversations that I've had with staff and with building leaders, I mean, we've talked extensively about what the process is and what the process will look like. And we've gotten really good feedback from building leaders and staff. I'm interested to hear what the students, what the feedback is from the students, but I will also say that a lot of the interest and push that we've gotten for this has come from parents and students. And so we are moving forward with that. And I have been working with our security team to talk about the staffing models for this, because this is something that the district has to conform to and adjust to. And as we move forward with the staffing model and developing our process and fine-tuning it, then we'll be able to duplicate that throughout the district as we move forward.
And Mr. Jackson, it's also important to lift that while we did hear from our parents, we also are taking the advisement of our chief of police and the Southfield Police Department on their recommendation to move forward in this direction.
Absolutely, and they've also been
subject matter experts.
Absolutely, and they've also been involved with how we developed our process for this. We had our SROs as a part of the discussion. They were there. They could, kind of walk us through what they see and ways that we could refine the process to ensure, to add another level of safety to the district.
I don't have a question for Mr. Jackson, but I do want to remind the board that because we are bringing in metal detectors, we will need to revise the policy. So our policies on safety, how we're governed, will all change. My suggestion would be that the board will need to sit down with Mr. Jackson, Dr. Green, and probably an SRO, right? Because the detection of something changes some of our policy and student code of conduct, right? So it's a heavy lift. I just want to remind everyone that it needs to actually be approved and implemented before they bring the metal detectors in. So that's something that will need to happen before January, just a FYI. And as a reminder, you have no study sessions in November or December. So I just wanted to lift that for everyone to say that that's something that needs to be done before Mr. Jackson rolls them on in.
Through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to lift one thing and then ask one question. First, that they were grant funded, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure that we lift that for our community. And also for the meeting dates, that you're meeting with parents, you said this week, right?
This coming week.
This coming week. Okay, do we have it already out to the parents? They already know? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, all right, perfect. Thank you.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Chief Jackson, one thing I would like for you to expound on, just for the public, the community can hear, it's training for the staff concerning disabled students as well as students with medical devices.
Absolutely.
Can you just explain that so the students-
Absolutely. So that was one of the things that was lifted at a few board meetings ago. And so we've been discussing what our procedures are for individuals coming through the device. If someone is in a wheelchair, on crutches, or has a medical device, whether it's a pacemaker or something like that, we have a backup plan. So they actually won't come through the metal detector. They will be moved to the side, and what we call a secondary search will be conducted with a wand, so that we can make sure that we check them but not put them at any risk or any danger. No problem.
Through the chair.
Sure.
I know tardy seems to be a thing, which we really need to correct. Will these also be in place for students that are showing up at 9:30 at our high schools?
Absolutely. So what we've been working with our security officers is a staffing model for the first 30 minutes of the day where we have the heaviest volume entering the building. Once most of the students have made it to their class, then the devices will still be at those doors, and there'll still be an officer at those doors to address anyone that comes in, whether it's a late arriving student, whether it's a parent, whether it's somebody who's there for the day to conduct business in the district. They will be checked by the officer there. So the machine it'll remain at the door.
Anything else? Hearing none. Mr. Jackson, I do think that, sorry.
This is more for Dr. Green. I'm just thinking about the rollout in terms of tardiness, as was mentioned. So if there's long lines, right, due to the searching in the schools, particularly the high schools, having a plan put in place. I don't know what that looks like or needs to look like, but just thought to lift that. And if they've been a part of the conversation, like what is the expected amount of time it takes?
We've discussed that at nauseum, and we'll continue to discuss it. One, getting them here on time helps, and then getting them through the metal detector. So, Mr. Jackson, if you want to.
Sure. So we
Expound.
have been talking about the time that it takes for each person to go through the device and have the device check you. And so one of the things that we've done is we've timed it. So it is not as big of a holdup as one might think it is. But also, we've talked with the building level leaders about also beginning the process a few minutes earlier. And beginning that process a little sooner so that we don't have folks late to class or the lines being held up. You know, one of the big considerations that we've talked about is the fact that we're rolling this out in January. And so, you know, where we have it inside the door, you know, we'll probably have students standing out in the elements for a few minutes as they begin to enter the building. And so we've kind of talked about that. What's the timing of that? So that we don't have students sitting outside for a ridiculous amount of time while they're going through this process. So that has been a big part of the conversation and the planning for this.
And teachers know to be graceful?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and the other part of it is, I mean, you know, the first week is an adjustment, you know, but as this becomes more routine, the process will become faster. And so we anticipate it being a little longer that first week, but, you know, after that, it will begin to speed up.
For sure. Through the chair, one last question, if I may. And this is only going to be for a short time on the U campus for reasons of. I retract my question. Thank you so much.
Let me just interject. Let me just interject, because at this current time, we're only talking about A&T. The conversation has been lifted because the U is going to go through a major move and some major demolition. Is it even feasible to go through this whole process with the U for 5 months? And so Mr. Jackson, Dr. Green, the SROs, they're all still in a conversation. And I feel comfortable saying, I think that we're going to err on the side of not putting this school in that position and concentrating on getting A&T right. The U is much more complicated. It's K-12. On top of that, more doors, different start times. And I think just to maximize human capital, bandwidth, and capacity, it makes more sense to go with Southfield A&T. So that is why we stopped that mid-sentence. But just wanted to be clear with everyone, the why. So thank you. Anything else for Mr. Jackson?
Not on this subject, but he does need to stay for the next subject.
Oh, yeah, you do. You
Move
need to stay. But
management.
before we do move management, I want to thank our student board reps. You've shown us that you're paying attention, and thank you to Trustee Denson. The student board reps have a question about the ISSN. Which one? Let me see. Hold on. Have a question about what is a ISSN Medicaid billing supervisor? What does that mean? What do they do?
Excellent
Look at y'all.
question. So ISSN is Intense Student Support Network. Any scholar in our district that has an individual education plan per their specific educational needs. And some of them have services that we can bill back to Medicaid, which is an insurance platform. So this individual would provide the billing services back to the insurance company, as well as ensure that those scholars with individualized educational plans are being serviced to the best of our ability. Yes.
My other question was, what is ASD? That term was used a lot on there.
It is autistic spectrum disorder. Excellent questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking good questions. That's what a charger does.
Paris is a warrior.
Thank you, thank you.
Paris is a warrior.
Oh, with the high five. That's the hate right there.
Okay, so moving right along to move management. We have two that we'd like to discuss this evening. So Mr. Jackson, if you would take Bernie, then I will follow up behind with the U.
All right, so we have been working very hard on this Bernie move. This is up to this date, this will be our most complex move because we're moving from one building, splitting up the students and the staff, and moving them to two separate campuses. So because of that, we have been really working very diligently to develop a plan and a strategy and roll it out so that we have a smooth transition to two campuses. And it's been an all hands on deck. I mean, we met with the building level leaders so that we could all be on the same page with what the plan is and what their messaging has been to their families. We've met with staff to discuss the packing process and how that will move forward. We held a virtual meeting with the parents so that we could, discuss the move and answer any questions they may have, gather questions that we didn't have the answers to yet. And then we produced a frequently asked questions document that we sent out to all the parents as a follow-up so that they could make sure that they had the answers and the information that they needed. And then internally, we've had a weekly meeting with all departments that are tied to this move in order to make sure that every base is covered with this. And when I say every department, I'm talking about operations. I'm talking about transportation. I'm talking about food service. I'm talking about, we're talking about custodial. We're talking about every department that touches this transition so that we can make sure that we're all moving forward. And a lot of work is being done. I mean, we've had to do renovations on the campuses to get them ready for January, and that work has been ongoing and should be done by the beginning of December. We have been in contact we've had a big conversation with transportation about this because this becomes a very complex move. And, students that are walkers to the campus will not have to be bused. And what does that look like? And so we've been working very diligently with the transportation company because we know this is one of those things that has to be done right, and it has to work on day one. So we're having weekly meetings. Our next weekly meeting is tomorrow, so that we can continue the planning for that. We've talked with our custodial team to make sure that the buildings are cleaned and ready to receive the materials, staff, and then students in January. Our food service, we've worked with them to make sure that that they have the correct lunch times, because of the fact that we're going from one campus that had one start and stop time to two campuses, we had to stagger the start times so that parents and the buses could get to one campus and then get to the other campus. Because we had to stagger the start times, that also moves and shifts the lunch hours. And so food service had to prepare for those new times and also divide up their staff so that they had staff to serve at one school versus the other. Like I said, this is our most complex move. And there are a lot of moving pieces to it. But we are, like I said, we're holding weekly meetings in order to make sure that we're meeting the deadlines and staying on track to make this happen.
BP, the only thing that I would add, or trustees, the only thing that I would add to that, I spoke with several of you while I was doing a walkthrough of Vandenberg just yesterday. There were some things that were noted, specifically that of carpeting in a couple classrooms that they attempted to clean that were not clean to my satisfaction. So we, as a bond team, as we were walking through, made the real-time decision to pivot from the installation of ceiling tiles. We can do that internally. You had already approved us to pay someone to do the ceiling tiles. So we're going to use those funds and that contractor to replace all of the carpet in the building and put the VCT tile in. And we're going to do the tiles internally to make sure that it's still a zero-sum game and we're not increasing the budget for that cost. But we want our scholars, not only those transitioning over from Bernie, but for the long term, because we do know that we're going to use that building for at least 4 years. So I wanted to note that.
Anyone else? Anything from Mr. Jackson? I just want to say thank you. This is difficult. It's complex. Just for the community, quite frankly, you have Bloomfield that was doing the same exact thing, right? They have construction going on with their elementary school. They did this with their middle school. Growth is uncomfortable. We appreciate everyone's patience, but this is what you asked us to do, and we are trying to implement it with fidelity. So there's going to be growing pains. Please be patient with us. I think the communication team is getting in the flow of the cadence and send it out via email, schedule the parent conversations, and then implement. So thank you all for all the hard work. We appreciate you. Trustee Denson.
I just want to say, as a Bernie parent who attended the virtual meeting, You all did an amazing job of explaining the process and making sure all students were heard, even with special needs and students of different ages. And so just thank you. I know it's a labor of love right now, but it was really great. And I appreciate all your work in the team.
And special kudos to the building level leaders. Principal Baldwin and AP Pritchett stepped up, and they did an amazing job facilitating their team in that building and helping with this process. So we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge them.
Absolutely.
I may have missed it. Did you mention about Champion Services?
They were in the process of getting their license
Licensing,
moved
yeah.
over to the other locations as well. So I will follow up to make sure that both Vandenberg and Southfield Regional, because those are the two campuses that they're traveling to. But I do know that we got all the paperwork to them in a timely manner.
Yeah, we should have an update at tomorrow's meeting about
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
And we'll send that to everyone. Thank you. The next one.
Can you
Oh,
tell
I'm
us
sorry.
real quick, I got your note. When is the parent meeting for the metal detectors at A&T? You have a
That
date for
is
that?
Next week.
on the 20th.
The
November
20th, and that is an in-person meeting
That's correct.
in the media center?
That's correct.
Got it.
Did you say?
I think it's 6 p.m.
6 o'clock.
6 p.m. Yeah.
And then, this isn't pertaining to you, but about parent-teacher conferences for next quarter, you want to lift that with your building leaders. The district does not decide on those, so if you send your building leaders a message and copy someone from the board, we'll make sure that you get that information. Thank you for being proactive. Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
If I could take one point of personal privilege.
Sure.
I just want to extend my appreciation to you, Board President, on serving on the board as a former board member and former board president. I know what it takes to sit in that seat. I know what it takes to sit in all these seats. And it is not easy, and I think you've done an amazing job as president. And I want you to know that even though you went to Lathrop. Okay, thank you. I'm done.
Shots fired. Wow. Okay, well,
Gotta come to
Mr.
Chambers.
Jackson. Now we will transition to that of university. So, board trustees, I did send you an email yesterday regarding a real-time decision that we had to make concerning the transitions and swing spaces that we will have for our university K-12. As we continued down this path, we looked at having our elementary children go to that of Vandenberg. That decision remains intact. That building will be prepared, as we discussed. They're receiving Bernie, and then they will receive university elementary children in the summer of 2026. Our middle school from university will still go to that of Eisenhower. That building has been renovated. They will transition to that building in the summer of 2026 as well. The change is with that of the high school at university. Our original plan was, well, one of the plans, I'm not going to say the original plan, but one of the plans on the table was Southfield Regional Academic Center. Then we heard from several of our scholars regarding O-House being an option. We know that that is where the U first started, and we explored that option, and it was a viable option until it was not. It recently was excluded as a viable option once we learned that as part of the renovation and new code requirements for fire suppression systems, we have to put a fire suppression system in O-House, which is the original portion of that building. That is the portion of the building that does not have a fire suppression system. You were gracious enough to grant us the $1.5 million at the last board meeting to do that. We were on track until we realized, by way of city approval, county approval, and state approval, that timing would not afford us an opportunity to do this by August 1st of 2026. Essentially, what we would have to do is drill underground, tap into the water main either across Lasser or across 10 Mile. meaning that we as a district would not only have the costs associated with the drilling and piping for the water lines, but we would have to damage the major roads that are county-owned and operated. We would also have to shut down those county roads during construction, and then we as a district would assume the financial impact of putting those roads back together. So, as a result, we are exploring some different options. Had an opportunity to meet with the chief of the fire department. He shared with me that he believes with the construction of the new fire tower, they put in a new water main underneath that fire tower. And if that is the case, and it is viable for us to tap into it, that is the avenue that we are pursuing at this date and time. Of course, it would still cause us to do damage to our road coming in and out of this property, but it would be a less costly disruption to our community. So that is where we are in the exploration period. The bottom line remains, we do have to put in a fire suppression system in O House because it was not required 60 years ago. It is now, but we are looking at the most cost-effective way to do that and the most responsible way to do that. So just wanted to update you there. So where are our babies going? Our babies from University 9 through 12 will transition to Southfield Regional Academic Center as we go through the new build.
So this lifts, this is very apropos to the conversation about a committee, a construction committee. This is the why. I think that many of these lifts came from being in the construction meeting. There were some things that stood out to me, particularly that caused me to send an email asking specific things. And one thing that I think this board stands firm on, we won't do anything that will be at a risk to our children. If it means that we're gonna risk your stability, we're gonna risk the timing, we definitely won't risk the safety, we won't do it. So I think on Thursday, when we meet, the conversation about getting this committee together so that we can have representation at those construction meetings, not just representing the board, we represent the community. And we represent our tax dollars. So I think these types of things are things that are important for us to hear up front, ask those questions, understand what's happening. There was also, I spoke with Dr. Green, because we've had these drawings up for a while, we know that in construction, you get multiple iterations, renderings, so to speak, or rev levels of the drawings. I have requested that we sit down, the board sits down with the architect, and you be walked through each iteration. Why? It will show you what's been added and what's been removed. Because your voice is essentially Dr. Green, it doesn't mean that we will always agree to what gets added and what gets removed, right? And so I think it's very important that you hear that in real time before we get to knocking down things and they have a final rendering and someone say, well, why y'all put the water fountain there? And the board says, oh, we didn't know the water fountain was going there. I don't think ignorance is ever a good reason
And
to give a
I'm
poor
laughing,
answer.
Board President, because yesterday the conversation was about a fire hydrant. So it was not the water fountain, but it was about a fire hydrant. And I did ask the architects to reach out to the fire department before they make a decision about where to put a fire hydrant that the fire department has to use. So
So I would urge this board to get that committee going sooner than later, because we're at the stage where timing is everything. So thank you, Dr. Green, for updating. And when will we have a university conversation with those parents? I know we're talking to staff.
Yes.
But when do the parents get the conversation?
we are drafting that letter as we speak.
Okay.
This decision was just made as of yesterday. So they should have a letter in hand by the close of business Friday.
Thank you.
Next, the first student performance improvement plan. You will find in your binders a performance improvement plan from First Student, addressing student safety, incident reporting, timeliness and route performance, technology, functionality, and parent communication. We have had a number of meetings the other things, field trips, athletics, communication and transparency, driver accountability and timing, performance monitoring and compliance. The list goes on and on. We have been meeting frequently relative to this matter, and we will have a 30-day meet with the senior executive leadership from First Student that came in from Kansas to ensure that we are consistent with what this performance improvement plan states. I will state that they are providing both Joe and I with a daily update in the morning and afternoon every day, so that we know in real time what is happening with our buses and with our scholars. What I found most interesting in the conversation, and Vice President, I know you've lifted this in the past, is that the digital platform, they have updated it, but apparently that was not communicated to our district. So they are going to come in and walk through with us the updated platform so that we know how to operate it and that all of our families have that information in real time.
So, based on some conversations that we've had, the board will have monthly check-ins with Dr. Green regarding the performance of First Student. This is in response to every parent that has emailed us, every child that has had to stand outside for lengthy periods of time, those who just weren't picked up, those who were left, those who were dropped off at the wrong spot with the wrong folks, all of the things. This is in response to that. So I believe that the board will get those monthly updates, and we'll continue to report out until we see a seamless transportation of each and every student in this district. So thank you for that, Dr. Green.
Absolutely. Next on the agenda is that of, next on the agenda is that of the Bussy Director Report. Dr. Kelly Wash?
Okay.
Good evening.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Superintendent Green, Board President Bland, and all those who serve Southfield Public Schools Board of Education. Once again, congratulations, President Bland.
Thank you.
So happy for you and your new journey. Okay, so once again, my name is Ursula Kelly Wash, and I'm happy to present Bussy's Director's Report. Okay, so last month we talked about Bussy's mission statement, so I thought it would be important to kind of share the vision statement because it really will share and kind of guide our stakeholders about what it is that we are trying to do here at Bussy. So once again, to deliver a comprehensive services for children and families by giving them a head start and a great start on their future, thus preparing them for kindergarten and life beyond. So once again, we hear Great Start and we hear Head Start, which really speaks to our early Head Start, our Head Start, and our Great Start to Readiness programs. And so we're trying to make sure that our students have really a strong early education start, healthy start, and that they're working with their families to prepare them for their futures. So the director's report will consist of an update regarding enrollment, our average daily attendance, our CACFP meal reports, education report, and family engagement. So for our enrollment report, I'm happy to say that this is not accurate because today we had 2 scholars enroll, and actually they started today, I should say, Head Start. So yeah, I'm very happy to say that our enrollment is increasing, and that's what we want it to do daily or monthly. So for our early Head Start, we will have 2 new infants start in the baby room. So that will be updated at the end of this month. And so we will ultimately see 16 for our early Head Start. And so once again, for our Head Start, instead of 55, it's really 57. And for GSRP, it's 75. So we're increasing our enrollment daily. For our average daily attendance, as you can see, for early Head Start is 86%, Head Start 81%, and then we have 2 blended classrooms, and so it's 81% as well. And then for GSRP, 85%. And those numbers, the percentages are pretty high because we have implemented some protocols and logistics. When scholars are not present, teachers call during their, lunchtime, or they hand over the attendance cards to the family service workers to make sure that we are aware of any type of needs that they may have or illnesses. So attendance really does matter at Bussey. It's to give our students a strong start. In regards to our CACFP program, as you can see that for breakfast, our students, we're serving over 1,000 meals, 1,036 students for breakfast, and for adults, 289. For our AM snack, which is only early Head Start, students 198 and adults 58. And for lunch, for students over 1,000, 1,052. For adults, 288. And for our PM snack, for students, 918. And for adults, 286. Okay, and so also, we know data is important, and we strive to have a data-driven environment at Bussey. And so for our Brigance, which allows teachers and all providers to basically see the needs or determine the needs for our students academically and socially and physically with the Brigance assessment, our pre-scores for, our pre-test scores for early Head Start average in the two classrooms is 71%, for Head Start 63, and for GSRP 71. So in May, I'll do the post scores, and I know we'll see higher scores with intervention of grade learning and teaching and professional learning with our teachers. The scores will definitely increase. And so I think that's a pretty, a Brigance is usually administered like the first 2 weeks of school. So I'm pretty proud to say that we're off to a strong start. For our education report, every week we are trying to focus on professional learning with our staff. So we have our educators empowering educators. Tomorrow, during our staff meeting, which is each Wednesday, we'll have our teaching team present how to do or create a class book using Canvas. So each week, teachers are learning how to support core. Last week, we had our two infant teaching teams. They talked about how to decode like a baby's language, and it was very interesting. So every week, we're learning something new, and we're learning it from our own, which is great. Also, we have, we had a fire safety house, which was very important. Our children, our scholars, now they know how to behave and how to respond if unfortunately they're ever faced with a fire at their home, just what to do and how to react accordingly. Also, we try to always focus on family engagement at Bussey. Muffins for Moms, it really empowered our moms and all women who support children. It was really a very kind of emotional event. Our mothers were, they have to know that they can empower one another, and they are very anxious and inspired to be of support for one another. So I'm happy that we're learning that we have that environment at Bussey. Also, we had a harvest festival, and each teaching team had to basically have some type of learning table in support of the harvest festival. And that learning table actually embraced or encouraged students to engage in math, science activities, literacy activities. So it was wonderful for our Harvest Festival that families were engaged in hands-on learning. And then I also wanted to just go back to the enrollment. As most of you know, or some of you might know, for our enrollment, we're trying to make sure that all of our Bussey scholars are enrolled in MyStar. So I just want to really kind of compliment our family service workers. They've been working very hard with Ms. Ludington, and we've been trying to make sure that we have a smooth transition to not only Child Plus, but recording and making sure that our scholars are in MyStar as well. Okay. So, any questions? Yes.
Thank you for this very professional, comprehensive report. My question for the educators empowering educators, are they able to receive PD credits from state licensing for the sessions?
Well, that's a great question. It was just something that I thought of. Just so that during our staff meetings, they're not just hearing from me. I want them to take a role. So it's not anything that I worked out with the Michigan Department of Education. Maybe long-term, that's something that we can do. But I just want our educators to feel comfortable standing in front of their peers, sharing their insights, and also just a way to empower themselves, making sure that they can share information as well. So that's a long-term goal. I have a lot of long-term goals for Bussy, but just this is just a taste of what we're trying to do.
I definitely see it being something state licensing would potentially,
Sure.
Allow. As far as the PD, they have to complete the
Exactly.
PD hours per year. My other question, which area, if you have it off the top of your head, which area of development did you find was the greatest concern?
Regarding the Brigance?
Yes.
Well, it depends on the age. So for GSRP, it's more of like the one-to-one correspondence with the math. I mean, like I said, Brigance, I was still collecting the data during the first meeting, but this is like the first 2 weeks of school. So, there's some teaching, but now, of course, if we were to retest, the scores would be higher. For the infants, it's those, can they, kind of like move their head? Can they have, rest on their stomach? It's all of those developmental skills. So I can break it down a little bit more for you the next time. But like I said, the goal, I think overall, if a scholar gets below 50%, then they have to be retested within a week. And most of our students were able to have a score of 50 or above. So as you can see, I think our average scores are pretty high. Thank you.
Through the chair. I found the decoding baby language. Now,
Yes.
every parent knows how to do that. We know, when they're sleepy, when they're tired, this, that. So has there actually been scientific research on that?
Well, the presentation that was shared with us with the baby team, I thought she showed some footage from a researcher.
Okay.
And the researcher showed pictures or videos of different, the clues and the odds from babies, and basically decoded that as such of being hungry or being tired. And that's important for an infant toddler teacher to know, so that they are responsive to a baby's needs. And then it's also just about listening, not only, the language, but the listening as well. So, it's just great for our teachers to present on a wide variety of topics.
It really is. It's quite interesting,
It
innovative.
is.
Yeah, quite
Yeah,
innovative.
I'm looking forward to seeing the presentation tomorrow about how to create a classroom book using Canva. Thank you.
I just wanted to say that hopefully it encourages you to know that you are turning around something that has been in a space that has been pretty negative for the last 10 years. And so be encouraged. We appreciate the work that you're doing, and we can see a difference because we sit here every other week, and we hear the rebuttals, we get the emails, we get the letters. I'm happy to say I haven't received one since you started.
Well, great.
So thank you.
Well, thank you. And it would be remiss of me I would like to thank Dr. Freeman and Mrs. Rogers. They're very helpful, and they support all the time Dr. Green. So thank you as well. Yes, no, thank you. Any other? Okay.
Through
thank
the
you.
chair, sorry, you can go.
Yes, Ms.
Okay.
Whitman.
My question was still about the metal detector meeting that they're having with the parents on the 20th. I was wondering, because I know a lot of the parents aren't proactively checking their emails, could we, or could I send this out to my class group chat as well as making an announcement? I can?
You
Okay.
can, but specify that it is a parent
Yeah.
meeting.
Okay, thank you so much. That was my
Thank
question.
you.
I love it. Students can't
For
attend
this
their
specific
parents?
meeting, we are asking to speak with the parents, just for space.
Oh, for space.
For space. It's in the media center. It's in person. Yeah, it would be too
Y'all
crowded.
gotta stay at home. I'm sorry.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, Chief.
Through the chair, would there be another meeting for the students after, or is it just gonna be one only for the parents?
This one is specific for the parents, but grade level meetings will happen for the scholars. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, look at, yeah, they doing something over there.
That concludes the report of the superintendent.
Wonderful.
Wow, great job.
Great job. Public participation. If you wish to address the board regarding a school-related issue that has not yet been resolved by school administration, please submit a comment card immediately. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual. As a matter of fairness, speakers with complaints against individuals are asked not to mention any persons by name. Complaints concerning employees pursuant to Board Policy 9130 should be brought to the attention of school principals or other administrators before coming to the Board of Education. Your cooperation is appreciated. Ms. Marie Banks. Ms. Banks, will you please state your address for the record?
Good evening, 29506 Andover Boulevard, Farmington Hills, Michigan. First of all, congratulations to our now Councilwoman Bland, but our former board president. We thank you for your service. But I come to you all, I haven't been here this year, so I want to say hello, but also to bring a full report. The 2025 graduating class of university and even Southfield A&T, they're doing well. They're landing well in college. My daughter is at Case Western in Cleveland. Her English class, she told me, oh, it's just like AP seminar. Her calculus class, she said, it's just like AP pre-calc and calculus. Our students are prepared. Our AP chemistry class, she's prepared. She hasn't seen a content yet that she hasn't seen before. So I thank the Southfield Public Schools for just taking care of my children's education. My next greeting is to our parents, and I don't know where the camera is, but the culture of Southfield Public Schools is what we make it. Do we all have problems? Yes. But can they be solved? Absolutely. We set the tone. We should not have a negative outside conversation about this district to anybody. When I have a problem with my building leader, I meet with her. When I have a problem with my child's teacher, I meet with her. And I keep meeting until we get it rectified, and it always gets rectified. This district is filled with brilliant children. Brilliant, from K to 12. Brilliant. And if we believe that, we don't have to go elsewhere to find that. So I implore my 8th grade parents who's making the decision right now on whether or not to send your child elsewhere. I'm a sports mom, and I know that confidence is as important as ability. You can be a hooper, but if you don't believe it, you can get taken out your game real easy. When we send our kids outside to these other districts that don't value them or employ them to be great, they can get taken out their game. You see these students right here, you saw the other students earlier, that happens right here. So when we make our decisions, do your research, find out what's going on at A&T, find out what's going on at university. And if you don't know what's going on, the PTSA meetings are at all the schools, every last one of them. Point of privilege, next Tuesday is our PTSA meeting. And we are going to have a Southfield Lathrop alum come speak. And his name is Stephen Ball. He is a Harvard Law School graduate. He is a University of Michigan graduate. And he has his own company called College Admissions and Advising. I paid $5,000 for that help, that type of help for my daughter. Not to him, because I ain't know about him. That somebody didn't look like us. We brought him here for Jumpstart. Our building leader brought him here for Jumpstart. PTSA is bringing him back for 7th grade to 11th grade parents. Now waiting to 12th grade. So you all, parents, be better. Bring your students on time. Pick them up on time. Check MyStar. Check Schoology.
Check your cell phone.
Check your cell phone. Read your email. And then, if you still have a complaint, have a meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Banks. Ms. Rosemary Allen. Ms. Allen, will you please state your, well, everybody who live here probably know your address already. But you everywhere.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, it is 24207 Tamarack Circle. I wanted to say good evening to everyone, and thank you to the parent that just spoke. Stephen Ball, he worked with me with the Southfield Parks and Rec. Years ago, I am still on the Parks and Rec as a commissioner, and we saw in him then what we know he is doing now. So thank you for that. So again, good evening, everyone, to Dr. Green, to the board, especially our youth. You all are doing a marvelous job. Our future is good because we know that you all are going to be in charge. And I'd also like to say Happy Veterans Day to Mr. Jackson and to all those who have served and still those actively serving. This year for the Allen family is bittersweet, as my dear Vietnam veteran husband of 40 years passed away this year. So it's still very raw, but I am comforted knowing that he is being saluted in heaven. So again, I am Rosemary Allen, longtime ambassador and advocate for this school district. Yes, yes, yes. I have 3 students that came through this district. As the parent before me said, my students, my children, did so well. They graduated, they've received multiple college degrees, they are doing well, and this is all from what was embedded in them at Southfield Public Schools. I was really busy while they were learning. I was PTSA president at every one of their schools because I was a nosy mommy. I wanted to know what was going on. I was busy making sure that they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. And I was one of your 2020 co-chairs for the school millage that overwhelmingly passed at 74%. Yes, yes, and I'm so excited about watching those dollars work in conjunction with all the updates that have been completed thus far and those to come. And again, congratulations, Dr. Green, and to all of those who were honored last week at God is Real Ministries. You, Dr. Green, are right where God wants you to be for such a time as this. And we're so pleased to have you. Now to my little girl over here, Miss Ashanti. I call her my little daughter. Congratulations to Councilwoman-elect Ashanti Bland, who ran for the first time for a City of Southfield council seat and got a 4-year term. Who does that? So this is a momentous time to continue to forge a strong relationship between the school and the city. And I know you are the right person for this job. And that is why the community elevated you from school board to council. And you're going to do just as well there too. So as a community activist, I have told you privately and I have told you personally, Ashanti, that the babies and the scholars here have released you. They've released you, so you can leave, okay? You can go, so that you can continue the next chapter in your journey. You will be missed, but all of the seeds that you have sown will bloom in all these scholars as they become our future leaders. because they will rise up and make you so proud. You are not really leaving. You're just saying, I'll see you in a different role at City Hall. So go with God and know that this community obviously loves you, not only in words, but in deeds. So we are here for you. We are there for you. We're always with you. Thank you. I love you. May God bless you. And I bid you Godspeed and look forward to seeing you get into a lot of good trouble.
Well, thank you, Miss Rosemary. You are like the Southfield gem and treasure and the gift that keeps on giving. I don't know where Southfield would be without you. I really don't. So thank you for your advocacy because you fight hard for this school district. You really do. So we appreciate you. We have our action items, consent agenda, approval of minutes for October 28th special board meeting and October 28th closed session. Is there a motion on the floor to open and approve?
I motion that we open and approve consent agenda, October 28th, 2025.
Support.
It's been properly moved and quickly supported.
I thought she was done.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, Board Secretary, whenever you're ready.
Trustee Wordaway.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Johnson.
Yes.
Trustee Holloway.
Yes.
Trustee Benson.
Yes.
Trustee Bland.
Yes.
Trustee Bell.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Motion carried. Thank you. Personnel action report, 6428. Trustees, you received the action report in your email, and you have it at the back of your binder. Please take a second to review again.
For the chair, I have a question.
Do you want to put a motion to open and approve it? You do not? Okay. Is there a motion to open and
I motion
approve
that we open and
report
approve.
6428?
I motion that we open and approve report 6428 personnel action report.
Support.
It's been properly moved and supported. Any discussion, Treasurer Belk?
Through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Number 7, I didn't see that on the slides as an open position, and I just wondered if anyone had been identified.
My apologies, great lift. No one has been identified. However, we did receive 40 applications for that position, and we've narrowed it down to the 10 with the strongest credentials. They will be interviewed starting next week.
Any other discussion?
Board Secretary, you see number 4?
I see 4. I did
Okay.
see 4.
Okay, just wanted to make sure you saw that lift.
4 and 6, though.
Yes.
Through the chair.
Yes, sir.
For number 7, is the salary competitive with what you're seeing in other school districts?
It is. We did an analysis to ensure and made a counter prior to this departure.
Okay, thank you.
Trustees, anything else?
1. My concern is that being a,
That is the one that I lifted in the slide this evening.
okay.
Yes.
Any other discussion, trustees? Hearing none. Board Secretary, whenever you're ready, please call for the vote.
Trustee Bland.
Yes.
Trustee Benson. Yes. Trustee Holloway.
Yes.
Trustee Johnson.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Wordaway.
Yes.
Trustee Bell.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Motion carried. Thank you. Information items, I will defer to our board treasurer for the financial report and monthly bill disbursement. Trustees, you receive the financial report and monthly bill disbursement via email as well.
Thank you, BP. We had quite a few questions this month, but they all have been answered. Dr. Green actually discussed a little bit about the things that I thought we would elevate as risk, and that's some of the uncertainty surrounding the budgets with the states and all of those things. The $575,000 that was lifted earlier would still be considered a risk, as well as, I wouldn't say a risk, but the $1.5 million that this board approved. I'm glad that Dr. Green lifted that will still need to be done in O-House. It's just a timeline change. So I want to make sure that the community is aware of that because we did approve that $1.5 million. As far as the other questions that I had regarding the bond and the budget, I received a very detailed email from Plant Moran that I have worked through, and I think it's satisfactory, as well as internally, our financials look amazing per usual. So that concludes my report, my financial report. Does any trustees have any questions?
Hearing none, thank you, Treasurer Belk. For the good of the order, does anyone have anything? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Board President. A few things. Check your emails, trustees. MASB, MASB sent out an email today, sent out one about the education credits. Trustee Denson specifically, if you have any questions, let me know, and I can sit down with you and we can look at that. The Winter Institute also has been sent out from MASB as well, so check your emails for those. Also, I would like to celebrate and recognize our marching band. They are doing some amazing things. I am just completely, well, one, I'm a little biased because I'm a parent, obviously, but, you know, separate from that, the experience that our scholars are getting. They just returned from Kentucky State University, from their high school band day a few weeks ago, and were able to be exposed to collegiate level marching band techniques and even performing during, you know, the halftime show. And they're getting these types of experiences, hands-on, networking. I heard all types of stories. You know, I wasn't able to attend, but I know some of the other marching band moms went and came back with all the stories, and the scholars were really excited just to envision themselves, you know, in just a year, just 2 years, where they plan to be, where they want to be. And so, of course, we know they have to be able to envision themselves there so they can actually strive towards it. And they're getting those experiences here with our marching band. And then, of course, they have been invited to participate in the Thanksgiving Parade again this year. So if you're available and you want to support our marching band, please go. I will be there as well. Make sure you dress in layers. We live in Michigan. And so then also this to the board, I just want to ask that you be on the lookout for some things they are looking to do, and they need our support. So that's all I have.
Thank you, trustee. Does anybody have anything else for the good of the order? Yes, please.
I know that our student board rep lifted this, but I wanted to reiterate that Southfield Public Schools, in partnership with Forgotten Harvest, will have our food distribution on tomorrow from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. here at the John W. English Administration Building. We did send out 2 email correspondence asking families to pre-register to ensure a smooth transition and pick up during that time. Thanks to all of the volunteers who will be here tomorrow distributing those boxes to our families. 1 box services a family of 4. Therefore, if you have a larger family, we are empowered to give you more than 1 box. Our goal is to ensure that you have what you need to be successful during this time with this food shortage. We do have a certain quantity of boxes, so it will be first come, first serve. We ask for your patience. We are winding them around the road to come to JWE to keep traffic off of 10 Mile and off of Losser. So we ask that the only thing you pack is your patience when you come. You must have a child currently enrolled in Southfield Public Schools in order to receive the boxes.
Thank you for that, Dr. Green. Did anyone have anything else? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Oh, future meetings. Let's look at that. Future meetings.
Well, that's kind of off now because there is one Thursday. Yeah,
Um,
so it's a little bit off.
We do have. I just said forget it. Future meetings to Thursday, November 13th, Committee of the Whole. We are out of school for Thanksgiving recess, November 26th through November 28th. Tuesday, December 9th, regular board meeting, and per our schedule for the transition, that also will be the swearing in of the appointed trustee. So please note that if you are interested in applying for the appointee position, that you will be sworn in at the regular board meeting, 7 p.m. Tuesday, December 9th. Winter recess, December 22nd through January 2nd. And then we are back Tuesday, January 13th, regular board meeting at 7 o'clock. Now we are adjourned at 8:51. Have a good evening, everyone.